to the second and really put some pressure on.
As the men's singles make their way out, how do you see this game proceeding? Again, we have the world number 2 in Lin Dan. I would think heavily the favourite.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend. He's won back-to-back Olympic golds, and nobody's ever done that before. He's, yeah, some would say one of the biggest legends that's ever played the game. So Marc ZWIEBLER is going to have his work cut out, but I'm sure he'll be up for the challenge. And it is Sudirman Cup. You're playing for your country, and hopefully you can really push him.
Does that make a big difference when you're wearing your national colours? I mean, you've had that honour.
Yes and no. I mean, like often you're competing individually in tournaments, but when you're in a team event like this, and it's probably only once, maybe twice a year, you've got the rest of your team at the back of the court. Yeah, it's something else, and you can really feed off that.
And Dan, world number 1. ZWIEBLER, who is ranked number 20 currently. It's like many sports where if you're outside that top 10, it's quite a jump to get into the top 10. Played each other on 7 occasions. ZWIEBLER has won 2 of those, I think, or have I got that wrong?
I think that might be against Chen Long.
Maybe you're right, yep, sorry.
Yeah, I think he's 0-3 against Lin Dan, but they last met in 2011, so 3 years is a long time in badminton world.
Lin Dan, world ranking number 2. As Ollie said, 2 Olympic gold medals, 5 world championships. Consistency, the key. Previous meeting, as you mentioned, 2011. All over in 2 sets. So a match that China would be expected to win. Lin Dan will no doubt look to be as efficient as he can, with still plenty of matches to come in the tournament. Thailand in the same group as Germany and China.
Yeah, I guess in the men's singles, China do have a bit of an advantage when you can sit the current world number 1 on the sidelines.
What a luxury that is.
Being Chen Long, of course.
There were many people expecting Chen Long to play this match, weren't they?
Yeah, it was probably going to be a 50-50 call. They're both fantastic players. And
Marcel Schmidt from Switzerland is our umpire. And Daniel Law, the service judge.
So a real misjudgment from Lin Dan there.
Service over, 1-0.
Change of shuttlecocks. And again, we're going through them rapidly in this match. We were saying that sometimes it's only a point.
Service over. 2-0.
Dropped in, I think.
Service over.
No, it
3
was out. That proves what I could see.
Very well left.
We're right up behind. I thought that just landed inside.
Service over.
The player able to hang on to serve at the moment. That was very well played by ZWIEBLER.
Yeah, nicely disguised, just
3.
putting Lindan off balance, which is so difficult to do.
ZWIEBLER with a 2-point advantage.
Service over. 4-5.
Good judgment before, but this one appears to just dropped in.
Yeah, that one was comfortably in, really, from the lift from Lindan.
Not so on that occasion.
Yeah, I think Lindan just signalling to his coach there's a bit of drift. Looking at it from left to right as we look at it.
You mentioned that drift. How easy or difficult is that to adapt to on court?
I mean, it depends. Like, sometimes you get it from left to right, as in this case, but sometimes you can also get it from end to end. So people will favour certain ends, as one end's faster, one end's slower. So you do find it's quite common, especially in the bigger halls with an air conditioning system that continues to operate while play is going on. But I mean, guys like ZWIEBLER and Lindan have been around a long time and played in plenty of halls with drift that's been significantly bigger than what you see this afternoon.
crowd liking the shot round the back from ZWIEBLER.
8-5.
Good shot from ZWIEBLER.
Service over. 6-8. Yes.
Certainly feels as if though Lin Dan is pulling the strings a little bit. He seems to have the game under control.
Yeah, I think he started off maybe a little bit relaxed, and then since he went 5-3 down, we've seen him just step up a gear and
6-8.
take control of the rallies and not give ZWIEBLER any opportunities.
Well played again by ZWIEBLER.
7-8.
Yeah, he certainly got one then, and he took it with both hands.
Just got to stay within reach. Power from Lin Dan.
Again, just this one from ZWIEBLER far too short, making it so much more difficult to get that one back.
I think that was the sign he was giving the coaches, that he didn't get enough air on it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also not easy in these big halls. Like 2 or 3 points earlier, he's lifted one out the back line, so he's trying to get a feel for it and make sure that he can put the shuttle pretty close to the back line.
You mentioned that the teams there, they did have practice time on the courts yesterday, but it's still not the same as when you get into a match situation.
Yeah, it's always different in a match scenario, and sometimes you might get the practice court might not be the one you're playing your match on, so it can be difficult. But I think we're seeing Lin Dan here just content to play Marc ZWIEBLER around and make him work 4 corners and not give him any chances to be dangerous, and it's paying off.
Subtle touch from Lin Dan. As you said, he just worked him all around the court, then saw the space and just dropped the shot over the net.
Yeah, from ZWIEBLER's perspective, and unfortunately for him, Lin Dan knows that if he can control him around the back of the court, he's going to struggle to produce something that can hurt him. So he's been trying to counter that in the last couple of rallies by trying to play some tight net when he gets the chance, but Lin Dan's just been too good in this opening half of the first set.
Great slow motion for any young players, how his eyes were on the shuttlecock all the way onto the racket. So often players forget you've got to watch it all the way.
Play.
Dan just powering away now.
Yeah, we've just seen him lift in gear again after the 11-point interval. But we know he's got so many as well.
Clipping the tape. ZWIEBLER unable to take advantage when there was a bit of space there. Overhits that one.
15-7.
What a rally. Lindan, a great defence mid-court.
Yeah, ZWIEBLER really throwing everything at him offensively in that rally, but there wasn't much else he could do to try and steal that point.
See, there's plenty of perspiration coming off the players, so just mopping the court, talcum powder on the hands. A bit of a dispute there, I think, over Marcel Schmidt, but he eventually agreed it could be changed.
Service over. 9-16.
So what's the tactic for ZWIEBLER here, just to try and hang in there?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this first set's almost a given that it's going to go the way of Lindan. Not that he would stop fighting for it, of course, but he needs to find a way to start being able to score some points. Lindan just had an answer for everything, and then as soon as he gets his opportunity, he'll come up with a cross-court smash like that, and he's just really showing his class and why he has won 2 Olympic gold medals and 5 world championships. But yeah, it's tough from ZWIEBLER's perspective in this situation where he cannot find a way to win a point.
Lindan edges closer to victory in this first set. Credit to ZWIEBLER, he's still fighting, even though he's being pulled to all corners of the court. Gets another point.
11-18.
Yeah, nice and early from the net there's ZWIEBLER, and it was really tight. Great shot.
The feeling Lindan, there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on. He's just delaying everything. ZWIEBLER annoyed with himself.
Yeah. Again, he's just struggling to find the back line with his lifts. It was good net from Lindan, but that's just a little bit short, and that makes it so much harder to defend.
Play.
Lindan 1 point away from taking the first set.
20, game point 11.
Being extremely dominant in this match. And the first game goes the way of Lindan, the world number 2.
First game won by China, 21-11.
No real surprises there for you, Ollie?
No, it's been pretty clinical from Lindan this first game, hasn't it? That last point, just seeing an example of the drift that ZWIEBLER thought it was wide and then realised that it was going to come back a little bit. But yeah, he's been too good in all areas, and especially defensively, he hasn't allowed ZWIEBLER into the game at all. Giving him no opportunities to get close or put any kind of pressure on. So it'll be interesting to see if ZWIEBLER can do that in the early stages of the second to give himself a chance. I mean, there's a couple of ways he could do it. Maybe he can start playing more of a box game, just pushing the shuttle more into the court and trying to force Lindan into some flatter lifts that he can attack from. But it's one thing to say it and another thing to be able to do it. The guy's, like I said, double Olympic champion for a reason. So.
And he just doesn't look like he's all really broken out into a sweat at the moment, Lindan. He's just pulling the strings, and as you said in commentary, pulling ZWIEBLER to all corners of the court at will. Yeah,
it really has. They've both been playing, I guess, what we call a large court and trying to force each other into being off balance and giving away an opportunity to attack. But Lindan's just been considerably better at it in this first game.
Well, it's funny, Lindan, whose parents encouraged him to play the piano, he gave that up for badminton, so certainly I think made the right decision. He may still be a very good musician, I'm not sure. He's certainly pulling the strings on the court at the moment and forcing ZWIEBLER to dance to his tune. Now Lindan to get us underway. And that's better from ZWIEBLER.
Yeah, it's a well-played first point from ZWIEBLER, who's going to need to come out quite fast and try and put some pressure on early, because if he gives Lindan a lead, he's going to struggle to come back. So good signs.
Service over. 1-0.
Credit should go to ZWIEBLER though, because he had a herniated disc in 2005, and to come back from that and still make it into the top 20 is a pretty mean feat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never nice when players' careers are put at risk with serious injuries like that. So great for him, and that he can be able to come back and play at the level he has.
Dan just pulling away already.
That's a terrific example of what do we call playing large court badminton, making ZWIEBLER go from one line to the other.
What a return that was from Lindan. It was fired into his body.
Again, Lindan just too quick. He's out to a 6-1 lead.
Well, he really, really made ZWIEBLER work. To the back, to the front. "31 shots in the rally. Dan has only lost 3 matches in 2015, 2 of those against Chen Long. So he's in a rich vein of form in 2015. This is just dominating performance. Remarkable stuff. Well, applause for both players. What a rally. ZWIEBLER was working Lingdana across the court.
Yeah, terrific rally from both players. At both times they were under pressure, and
big sigh from ZWIEBLER. I'm not surprised. He's been working really hard on the court. Credit to his fitness.
Lindan just not happy with the court. Bit of sweat still down there.
Thank you.
9 points to 1 in favour of the world number 2, Lindan. Still with service after ZWIEBLER took the first point of this, the second set. Finally gets service back and a second point.
2-9.
Huge deficit to make up. 7 points.
Yeah, against anyone, let alone a 5-time world champion.
And he's closed the gap by 1 more.
3-9.
There we see the drift just taking that one wide.
ZWIEBLER, good judgment.
4-9.
He's done well. He's closed that gap.
Play.
Just long from ZWIEBLER.
Service over. 10.
I think that meant it was a very tight margin.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's been struggling to find the backline the whole match, and it's really difficult to compete if you can't do that.
He's certainly
Particularly
getting
in
better
men's
lift on these shots in this set than he did in the first. Would you agree?
Yeah, he seems to have had a little bit more feeling this time around. That the first set we really saw a lot of short lifts that put him under a lot of pressure, but I think that's something that Lindan's been able to do a lot better. Just control him around the back of the court, and from there it's so difficult to cause any danger.
Play. Continuous play.
Let's see if that dropped in. It did drop in.
Lean down. Stay on. Lean down. Stay on court.
Again, we just see the drift playing a little bit of its part.
Right, ZWIEBLER closing the gap yet again. 8-10 now. It was 9-1 down. So great comeback.
It's been a great little period for him. I think we can look for Lindan to change his speed and speed up either now or after the 11-point break.
So,
11-8 at the break in favour of Lindan. Almost on cue, Ollie, he did lift his game on that point. The pace just picked up.
Yeah, I mean he's always been a sort of player that he's happy just to cruise early on and then step up when it matters, and I think today's been no different.
We've heard in the effects, Mike, the umpire telling him to stay on court. Is that again a trait that we see a lot where he goes walkabout?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of players, you know, you want to, maybe you talk to your coach on the back of the court, so you'll do a walk, and Lindan in particular has done it a lot, but yeah, it's the umpire trying to make sure that play is continuous and that it's fair from both sides.
11-8. Play.
Oh, what a smash. And I think we're going to have a challenge from ZWIEBLER. He feels that was out.
Germany, call 8.
Do you think it was out or in?
I'll put myself out there. I think it was good.
I thought it was just in. players have 2 challenges per match. Of course, if they get the challenge correct with Hawkeye, they keep their challenges. If they get it wrong, they're reduced. And it was in.
Challenge unsuccessful. Germany. 1 challenge remaining.
Germany lose 1 challenge.
Play.
Yeah, unlucky there from ZWIEBLER. It was a good rally. He worked Lin Dan everywhere, but just trying to play that really tight net to get a shorter lift, and came up with the error.
A little bit of frustration as well, as he had put in so much hard work.
Yeah, he knows he has to work so hard just to create the opportunity to play a tight net shot like that.
Super return from ZWIEBLER, but brilliant finish by Lin Dan.
Yeah, got thumbs up from ZWIEBLER, that one.
Just the deft touch from Lin Dan on that shot was remarkable.
2号场地将要进行的是日本队与俄罗斯队的第3场比赛，女子单打由田宪佑对阵马尔科夫，裁判员施德发球裁判巴特爱大利。
Lin Dan moving away again, 15-8 the score. They're hitting that one.
Service over. 9-15.
Both players asking to use the towels. And Dan not happy with that shot.
15.
How much fluid would a player lose in a match, Ollie?
Obviously, I mean, it depends a lot on the match. They go from anywhere from at quickest 20-25 minutes to an hour and 25. We had an hour and 40 last week in the New Zealand Open, so it can be up to. It depends on the different players, but anything from a litre an hour is probably that's the general estimation.
It's over. 16-10.
But I mean, it depends on the conditions as well. Like we see, terrific cross court there from Lindan to set himself up. In Malaysia, for example, where it's 36, 37 degrees when you're training it, it's a lot more.
ZWIEBLER just pushing it wide. There's no drift to bring it back in play. Lindan edges closer to victory. ZWIEBLER looking a little fatigued now. As you'd expect, he's been made to work extremely hard. Well, I thought that was out. Yeah, I think he's appealing for the racket over the net, was it?
Yeah, I think we're going to see it here. I'm not quite sure what. Seemed okay.
The third match on top 4 will be men's doubles. Rennes, Marc, Netherlands against Derek Moon, Adrian Liu, Canada. Umpire.
Still waiting for the challenge to come down to the umpire. I don't think Lindan's going to win this challenge. So that is out.
Yep, good eyes, Ashley.
Well, I got the other one wrong in the game before by a long way. So it's nice to get one right. So Lindan loses one of his challenges.
Yeah, I think we've just been a bit of a communication breakdown at the moment. There we go.
It's just a problem, I think, with the screen on the inside the stadium here at the Dongguan Basketball Centre, which opened in 2014. Hosting this, the 14th Sudirman Cup, named after Dick Sudirman in Indonesia.
So it's over, it's 19-11.
ZWIEBLER's put up a spirited fight. I think that drifted in, didn't it? Or
Yeah, I think that was perfect from Lindan.
Germany, Hold in.
Ooh, maybe.
That's close.
ZWIEBLER has got one challenge left. He's got 2 points away from losing the match. He may as well have a go.
Guess he had a perfect view of that one too. So
Challenge unsuccessful. Germany, no challenge
So,
remaining.
deemed in.
20, match point 11.
Match point for Lindan, for Germany to go 2-0 up. And that's long, and China do in fact go 2 matches up. Lindan, the world number 2. Well, it maybe wasn't quite as clinical as he would have expected, but he was still pretty dominant.
yeah, I think credit to Marc ZWIEBLER. He put up a real fight, even though he wasn't really able to put that much pressure on the two-time Olympic champion. But straight from the get-go, Lindan was able to step up and control the game and play at his tempo, and ZWIEBLER wasn't really able to, like I said, put any pressure on. He tried a number of ways. He tried to play tight net throughout the match and get shorter lifts that way, but Lindan was just too good and had answers for everything that he threw at him.
He did. You always felt he was in control of that match. ZWIEBLER, though, credit to him, he battled very, very hard throughout the match. Final scores, Lindan with the same score, 21-11 in the first set, 21-11 in the second set, 47 minutes. Took